Good morning. Welcome to Mama Sue's Kitchen. I hope you're having a great day today. It's a hot day here in Alabama, but we're doing great, and I'm going to share a recipe with you that's in my Volume 1 cookbook, and it's called Pineapple Pepper Jelly. And I am on my very last jar, and I wanted to make some more, but I'll share what all you can do with this pepper jelly once it starts cooking. But the recipe says you can use 1 fresh pineapple cubed, or you can use 2 of the 20-ounce cans of pineapple chunks, but you drain those first. So I have drained them, and I'm going to put them in my food processor. I see that it has still just a little juice. You really can't get it every bit out, but you want most of it drained. Let me drain just a little bit more. I had drained these and I let them sit, and I guess it's accumulated some more liquid, which that will happen. But what I'm doing is putting those in here, and then I'm going to just turn my food processor on pulse until a food processor is worth its money. I have one that I've used for years that was the very last thing my mother gave me before she went to heaven, and there were days that it didn't work good, but I didn't want to do away with it. So I took it to our camper and I leave it there. And when we were there the last time, I used it to make salsa, so you can still use that. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm having to reach across my plate. Okay. And then I'm going to dump it in a big pan. This is my soup pan. This is not hard to do at all. It just takes just a little bit of time, but that's all right too. All right, to that, I'm going to add 1 large jalapeno that I took the seeds out and I chopped it finely, real fine. All right. And then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and I've already measured it out. 2 tablespoons of butter, and a teaspoon and a half of the red pepper flakes, and I've measured those out. The last thing I'm going to put in here for right now is 1 box of Sure Gel. Now that is what will make it get like jelly. Alright, now I have measured out 5 cups of sugar, but I won't put that in there until this comes to a boil and boils for 1 minute. I have just turned my stove on, and what I want to do is just to bring this to a boil, and I'm going to let it boil for 1 minute, and then I'll add my sugar. But I wanted to tell you what I do with the pepper jelly. You can eat it, you can just put it in a a tablespoon of it on your plate when you have peas or beans or whatever. And it's sort of like, I know you've had pepper jelly that way. It's good on a hot piece of cornbread or whatever, but it's great as an appetizer if you will put a block of cream cheese and then just pour this over the cream cheese and then eat it with crackers. I could stand there and eat the whole thing. It is so, so good. But this makes neat little gifts too. Let me tell you, if you just wanted to do a just because, or if, you know, I taught school for 25 years. Well, I taught for 20 years. And then I was an assistant principal, but this would have been something that I would have loved for a Christmas gift or whatever. Teachers don't have to have store-bought things. I know Tammy Bearden, one of my mamas, used to make me the best cookies at Christmas time. And I taught several of her kids, and I always looked forward to that. Okay, this is starting to bubble just a little bit. And when it does, when it starts to a rolling boil, I'm going to time it. It's doing that now, so alright, I'm gonna put it on 1 minute. And I am gonna stir it because I don't want it to stick. This is not too hot. The jalapeno doesn't give it heat because I've taken the seed out. Now the red pepper flakes, if you bite into one, it's going to have a little heat to it. So if you didn't want quite a teaspoon and a half, you could leave a little of it out. But I love the flavor that it gives it. I'll go ahead and get my sugar over here ready to put in it. And the recipe says that when you add your sugar, you're going to boil it for 1 minute. Okay, let's add the sugar and mix it up. When it comes back to a rolling boil, I will put the timer on for a minute. It smells good. You can smell the pepper. Now I'm not going to show you to water bath. I'm going to put it in the jars, and then if you don't know how to water bath, you can take it needs to be a deep pot. I have a blue enamel water bath canner, and you just want to make sure that once you put this in your fruit jars and put the lid on it, that you cover them with water. And when that water comes to a boil, you're going to let it boil for 10 minutes. And that is all you have to do. Alright, you will notice when it comes to a boil, it's going to have a foamy looking topping on it, and I'll let you see that. And what I do, I'm going to get one of these cans over here. I will take a spoon and just kind of skim that off, because if you don't, it won't hurt the jelly, but that may show up on the top of your jelly and you would think something was wrong. it won't take it long because around the edges it's beginning to have a little foam. So once it starts boiling, we'll get more foam, and then we will skim that off, and we'll boil it for 1 minute, and then I'll ladle it in the jars. I use my soup ladle. I have a plate beside my boiler. Okay, it's beginning to boil. When the whole thing starts to a full boil, which is almost there, I'll set my timer for 1 minute. But you want to have your things ready. I have my jars over there, and I have them in hot water because you want your jars to be hot. So it will, okay, let's put this on 1 minute. You want your jars hot so this will not, this hot jelly won't break them. All right, now what I'm gonna do, this that is around the edges that looks like foam a little bit, I'm just going to kind of ladle that off. The only thing about it, you get some of those pepper flakes in there. Okay, I'm just going to stir and make sure that it's not sticking. And it's not. Okay, I need to be ready to take this. Alright, that's 1 minute. You see right around the edge where there is foam. Just gonna get that off the best I can. There's no way that you can get all of it off. But when you're canning tomatoes, you'll see red foam like that, and I always get it off. Okay, about ready. All right, let me get my jars right here. I have a few jelly jars. These are jelly jars right here. They're more decorative. But you want to put pins on it here. And then you're just going to put this in there. And you want to fill your jar to that bottom ridge. And I have a clean cloth, because you see that got on the edge, and you want to wipe your tops, because if not, they won't seal. Now, these are the new lids that you don't have to get hot. Okay, I just want to show you this one. You see how pretty that is? Now, I will put this over here until they cool, and you'll hear them pop when the lids seal. And that's music to a canner's ear, because you know that they have sealed. But now when you water bath something, you go ahead and water bath it while it's hot. But I'm not going to waste your time right now showing you how I do all this, because it does take time, and you do it all the exact same way You just want that top clean. And you can reuse your rings. You cannot reuse your lids, the flats. But I save my my rings. Alright, I'm going to finish this and you'll be able to see the recipe if you'll go to MamaSue'sSouthernKitchen.com. And I hope you have my Volume 1 cookbook and Volume 2 because there's good recipes in both. But in case you don't have it, you can get this recipe there. But anyway, I hope that you'll always be salt and light. Read Matthew 5:13 through 16 and see what it says. Jesus is so good and He loves you and He wants you to be a light for Him. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Please share my page. And you can also find it on YouTube under Mama Sue's Southern Kitchen. I'll be back soon.